Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus.
Breaking news about the coronavirus.
And we begin tonight with a disturbing milestone in this coronavirus pandemic.
This virus doesn't discriminate. It attacks everyone.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
When all of this hit, and when I stood at the front of a bus and looked at the people who were about to get on a bus and go to the airport to fly to a basketball tournament in Las Vegas and said, hey, guess what? We're not going. You can go home now. That's when everything got very real. That's when the immediate planning started happening for what are we doing today, next week, and in the spring as it comes. Even then, we're starting to think about what's going to happen in the fall. I'm Dr. Eric Wiltshire. I direct the Oregon Marching Band, the Oregon Athletic Bands, and I also teach music education here at the University of Oregon. What the Oregon Marching Band is depends on who you ask. For the university, it's probably the most visible musical group. For the people in it, it's a family. It's a place where they learn, grow, and make friends and get to know each other. And for all of us, it's a way to better experience university life. Looking at how the pandemic has affected the band, there's positives and negatives. One of the hardest things in planning this fall has been not having performances. If we take those performances out, it's really hard to motivate us to work towards that next thing because we don't know what it is. Making the decision to totally let go of marching was kind of hard to do, but it was also realistic. Next thing I want to do is share my screen, and boom. No. We moved to all online, and so that was one of the important things that we did because that is the safest way, is to just not be in the same space. Teaching during the pandemic is a lot more work for a lot less effect. It took us an extra 2 months to get to just the basics, so everything takes a little bit longer. On the other hand, I'm able to cover things that we don't normally cover. Able to get into depth on some things that we don't normally have the time and the luxury to get into in depth. It's changed what we rehearse. It's taken all the performance responsibilities away, so we don't have performances we're trying to build up to, and I can focus more on just teaching.
The point of the drill is to be in a workable rehearsal form.
Once we decided that we were going to be able to do some in-person rehearsals, I worked with a lot of directors around the country. There are studies specifically being done about wind instruments and how aerosol spreads, and came up with a protocol that takes into account every possible way that the disease could spread amongst us while we're in a rehearsal, and then went to a lot of effort to make sure that we mitigate those. That includes masks and bell covers and way to collect the spit from the instruments and social distancing, and again also keeping it optional so the people who are there are people who are comfortable. The more things you can do to mitigate, the safer you end up being. I'm really impressed with a lot of our student leadership. The leadership meetings that are happening every Monday have been hugely important for us. We're taking this opportunity to spend time on different things to really reorganize, reevaluate who we are and how we get there.
Hi, I'm Broderick. I'm the University of Oregon Marching Band President.
My name is Ben Orlov, and I'm the Vice President of Oregon Athletic Bands.
Once we knew that we were online, which was in August, the very end of August, that's when we started to very much move everything into place.
This isn't a normal season, so we have an opportunity to reflect on where we are as an organization, and because of that, we have now a student safety advocate who's going to be working towards helping students feel safe in band.
I would say that in this specific season, we can make these really big changes, and it's not a struggle because this is what we can focus on.
Right now we're working on a student code of conduct, which will hopefully improve the way in which we look at band and we look at band safety in particular.
Pandemic was a negative thing, obviously, but I think we were able, as an organization, to create positive out of it.
Hey, Quinn, let's sit with our feet out, shoulder width.
The recording session was, it was exciting. It was the only time all fall that I really felt like we're at marching band. I wanted the members of the band to have a presence at the football games, even if they couldn't be at the football games. And I thought that that was important for them. And it created an opportunity for us to have all of the band, or as much of the band as chose to participate in one place at one time doing a thing. And it ended up feeling like a marching band rehearsal. Just getting together was a win. Just having that moment when everybody got to be in the same place and do marching band at least for a couple hours and have a little bit of normalcy, albeit spread out and with masks on and bell covers and all of those things, but still to experience a little bit of normalcy, that was a win. And we got some usable footage out of it that I hope we'll see on ESPN or something like that at some point too. If we all sit around and think about it, it's kind of ridiculous to try and do marching band as a bunch of silent squares on a computer screen. It's not really marching band. But we chose to continue marching band because it's not about the performances, it's not about the rehearsals, it's about the family. They needed to have something somewhat normal happening this fall, even if it's happening only online, even if it's a rehearsal wearing a mask, standing 4 steps away from their neighbors. They don't get that same experience, but they get some experience and they get to be part of that family. They get to have that connection with each other. And it's still fulfilling our obligation and our mission of completing the university experience. And so we can't not be here for that. When we come back and we're able to meet in person next fall, they're going to be way more meaningful because we now know what we're missing when we're not doing it.
Fabulous job. I wish we had 2 more hours in this, but it's time to go. 1, 2, 3.